it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and here we are with the next door from our Stitchmas 7. So we want to open door number 4. Work out where it is. There we go. So what do you think we're going to get today? Oh, okay. So a bauble again, because I've been cutting these off now. One, it's helpful to show you guys, but secondly, it's actually quite good because when I save obviously the dies, I've got a record of what the die is actually going to be. Have a little think, see what we come up with. Okay, so I have cut the pieces out, and what you'll notice is that there's only 2. What that was, well, actually there's 3. I cut the frame, and that created, it's not actually a frame, it is I think it could be a frame. If you cut the middle piece out, that would become a frame, and you could use the middle piece and stitch it or not as you so desired, and then you could make that a frame, or you could put your own die in the middle, but I wanted it solid anyway, so that worked for me. I then cut the bauble out and I put the stitching element in the middle there, and then I cut the little string metal bit as well. Now I decided not to cut the bow because I'm going to use a real bow, a little baby bow. So this is what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to just put these to one side, because what I want to do is put a stamp. Whoops, that didn't move, did it? I want to put a stamp on the inside. What do you move? Of our card, and that can be drying off nicely while we do it. So I've got a nice 4x4 card here. Just going to open that up. Now, if you've watched me enough, you'll know I like a square card to be top folding. It's just how I am. I like them top folding. And this is a Christmas sentiment set. One of those ones that I got from Amazon, sort of a cheapy set, and they've been proving quite useful. So I don't know if this one's any good because I haven't used this particular one yet. So we want to pop that in position about there, and then go, oh, is it the right way around? Yep. Grab hold of it. It seems to stick really nicely, which is good. And then I've got some distress inks, and let's go for fired brick. I think that looks like a good choice. Sometimes what I find is if you just lightly scratch the surface with a little file, it just takes the shine off it, and then it'll, yeah, there we go. Now the ink is attaching itself. Sometimes new stamps, if they're slightly cheaper as well, they have like a coating on them, and you just need to remove that, just very lightly go over it. I use the block because it then is quite even. Look at that, that looks good, right? So let's now just pop this little chap to one side so he can be drying off. And we're going to stitch using this red here. So I'm going to do what looks like a really long piece, but I think that is a bit too long actually. I'm going to cut one strand. This, if you're not familiar with embroidery thread particularly, because not everybody does stitching as well as papercraft, it comes with 6 strands, and you usually use 2 when you cross stitch or embroider or whatever. So what I tend to do is take out one strand, make sure it uncurls itself a little bit, fold it in half, take my needle and pop that through. So now we have threaded a 2-strand there, but we've got a little loop, so we don't need to knot. So we're going to come up, let's think, we want to, yeah, come up in the middle, she says. Right, there we go. Then we're going to go down on that side, and then as we come through, hopefully you can see there's the loop coming. So we're going to pop our needle through the loop, and that secures it. And then normally I'd go back to the middle, but just in this instance, because I don't want to pull the loop backwards, I'm going to come up on that one there, and it will save me some thread anyway. And then we're just going to go all the way around. Very simple, but I like the red. It's going to go with the papers that I've chosen. Okay, so we're just going to go round and round, as you can see. And this, I thought would be nice to use the red instead of sort of the silver or the gold for a change. Just trying to find the hole. I'm actually sort of like this stitching. Normally, obviously, you drag it right close to you so you could see, but in order to get it under the camera so you guys can see, it's quite a lot. I'm almost, not quite, but almost at arm's length. So it's actually a lot harder for me to stitch than it would be normally. So, but anyway, this I thought would be nice because it would go with the papers that I found. I had a couple of little bit scraps just sort of sitting around, and I thought, well, they're really nice. They'd work. Well, I think they'll work. Hopefully you guys will agree. Okay, so we finished that. So you could have added a thread of the silver in there as well if you wanted to. And then we're just going to turn it over. We're going to slide our needle under a couple of those on the back. Again, that's going to create a loop. So we're going to put our needle through that loop. Whoops. And that will knock that off for us. And then again, I'm just going to go around a couple of times just to make sure when I cut it, it will not be coming undone. There we go. So that's that piece done. So then I want to get my little piece here and stick that on. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive onto here, or a lot of adhesive. Let's take some of that off. We don't want all of that. And then we want to stick that onto the top of our bauble here. Oh, yeah, actually, that's going to go onto our card. So I'm going to, that's not going to go on the, it should do because it would look funny otherwise. There we go, done it. Oops, or I nearly did it. I did it, but I didn't do it. Bend him back a bit, that's it. There, I think that looks all right. So put that to one side. And then we're going to take our card. So I've got this piece of paper here. Now it's slightly uneven. So I'm just going to cut that little bit of blue off the edge because things like that just drive me nuts when it's not quite the same. There's a tiny little bit of the blue showing. And we'll just make sure that side's straight. So we're going to stick that down on there, and I'm just going to use a tape pen for that. So let's okay, so then a pair of scissors and we'll cut the excess off. I found it easier just to put a little bit top and bottom, because trying to line it up sometimes with the bottom or something, it's just more fiddly. And these are such tiny pieces that are going to be left, it's almost not worth worrying about. So we glued our little ribbon, it stuck down nicely, and we have now finished the card, and you can see that lovely stitched element there. I think it's nice to see it in a different colour instead of the gold and silver as well for a change. So there it is, all done. And that's just a little baby 4x4 card, and then on the inside we've just got Merry Christmas in a complimentary red. So I hope you've enjoyed making this card with me, and I will see you in a couple of days. See you then. Bye for now. Bye.